Okay, I think I'm recording. I'm gonna take this account with Apex and trade the NQ. Now I have up to 10 contracts and my goal is 3,000. I want my MNQ DOM up as well. I'm gonna start with the MNQ. I'm going to do this in one of my eval accounts. And the overall sense here is down for the day, or the overnight anyway, but not hugely. But we are consolidating at the lows, and we have left UB in the ES. I use the ES to sort of give myself a roadmap for how and which way to trade the NQ. Because structure on the NQ is kind of irrelevant. I trade off the DOM. I use a 30-minute footprint. These are two 15-second charts with two LRCs, a 20 time period and a 80 time period. So RTY is pushing down. This is the open. And so is NQ. Let's see if we resolve our low here. And if we keep pushing or if we bounce. So now we've broken the overnight low and we've continued with more downward selling pressure and we have left UB. So I'm going to start taking some shorts in the MNQ. I want to keep my risk low. I'm watching the ES to see if it's gone low enough. We keep leaving UB here, unfinished business, meaning we don't have a finished auction down here. So in all likelihood, we're going to keep going. So I'm going to reshort this. I always put a target in right away on NQ because she's wild. And I will even, we still have UB. So I'm going to short again. I don't chase it. I let it come back up to me. There we go. And I know I have UB, so I'm probably going to go low again. I'm going to add to this up here. Now I know where my range has established. And since my goal here is to actually trade the NQ mini, I'm comfortable putting 10 or 20 micros on here. Now, we have come, I was going to say low enough for a second, but it looks like we're going to keep going. Pressure is down for now anyway. Yep. All right. But look at RTY. It has turned. So I'm going to keep an eye here. And I'm going to put a stop in between. So it might bounce and take me out. Yep, it did. And watch this RTY. YM is testing its overnight low, but it hasn't broken it. That might be the thing that when we break, we then turn and go up. NQ is pressing hard to the downside, but it looks like we're almost done here. Let's see. Is it time to go long? Maybe start to nibble long. And I'm going to be cautious with this. And I'm even going to put a protective stop in here. Yeah, it was kind of a dead cat bounce. I'm going to clear all those orders from above. We are still holding this low here. We broke the overnight low by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. So hard to say. We touched the overnight low in YM, and that might just be enough to turn us around. I'm skeptical here, as we're pressing lower yet. Let's see if we can break this RTH low. And it looks like NQ is pretty serious about continuing down. Holding so far. Bouncing pretty good. I'm going to nibble long again, and I'm probably going to nibble long even further down. This isn't a bloodbath, and you can see, move this a little to the side. This is the tape, and I have this set for orders larger than 10, blocks of 10 or more. We're not turning very hard. So I might want to take that off if I get a chance. I'm going to clear this footprint and see where we're going with this. So we can get some lift. It doesn't look like it. I might have to come down here and add a couple of longs. There's a big fat round number, 14,500. Might hold us up. All right. See, I'm not even able to get 10 ticks out of it to the upside, so that's kind of a warning sign. But we've left a little UB up here. It's a very narrow range to start the morning in ES. 69 to 76, so a 7-point range. All right, so if we've pushed lower, I still have only one contract on though. Now we're pressing the lows again, but RTY is not playing. All right, where am I wrong? Well, I'm wrong if we blow through this 500 probably. RTY. See, RTY doesn't share underlyings with the other indices, but it doesn't often go uncorrelated for long. So we picked up 3 contracts here. And I'm going to probably take these off sooner rather than later. Yep. Okay. So let's clear that. Take a breath. It's 9:37. We do have quite a bit of buying here. We've explored below. RTY is really strong, so I'm going to nibble long again. And, well, let's clear this. Looks like we may have established our low for the day. What I'd like, though, now it's starting to go 2 ways. What I'd like to see are these LRCs flattening out or going the same way. So the short one is telling me we're settling here. The longer term one is still heading down, but RTY is on fuego. I'm going to sit on hands for a minute. If I can see a strong enough turn to the upside in NQ. It's about, well, maybe what I'll do is I'll just start trading 2 contracts here because this isn't fantastic as far as, I do like that there's UB up here. We don't really have a price rejector here. But I think we'll go up for a little while. Unless RTY is going to turn now. I need a good reason to get short, and I just don't have one yet. So I'm waiting. NQ can be tough. She's like a bronco. You just got to stay on for 8 seconds and not get your head cracked when you get off. I think we're going to go lower. Maybe down to the big fat round number of 50. It's quite a ways down though on the ES. So far we're holding this. For me to go long, I want to see the ES back over the overnight high, or low, I mean. And if not this 30-minute candle, then the next one being blue, I want to take out the regular trading hours high, which is this right here, because we have UB right there. There's no UB above us in the overnight high. But, I mean, this isn't a big move to the downside by any stretch. And that RTY being so strong gives me pause to go short here. I'm still thinking long, and I think I might nibble long here. I'm nibbling long, though, with bigger size. And I might just put a... Oh, that's what I was afraid of. Try again, and instead of stop, I'm going to add to it all the way down to here. If we break this low, then I'm wrong, and I want out. I don't really want to put a target in here until we pass this. Unless, of course, it's not going to get off the ground. I'd rather add to this long here than take profit right away. So I can put a stop in just to protect myself. I think once we get rocking here, we can take off to the upside. But I got no target above me really, so it stopped me out. But we are starting to turn around. You see how I got filled here from up here? That's why you don't use stops in NQ. You use targets to get out, or you hit flat. You just size down. So see, my LRCs now are in contradiction, I guess is how you could put it. The 80 period is going down, and the 20 period, the short term, is definitely up. Got a little wick on this, so it gives me pause, but I'm out again. Let's see. We still haven't taken this out. But it looks like we might be heading back down. So I'm going to get rid of all of these. I'm going to clean up my footprint here. And I'm going to see if the trajectory can change. If we stay going up in the short period long enough, it'll drag this LRC, but we're not. See, we're heading down and it's getting bigger. Those candles, when they get larger, that tells you there's more volume. And you can see that over here in the tape. The numbers will get bigger. The light blue will become green, and the light red or pink will turn bright red for larger blocks. Which just obviously that size, this is ES blocks, so anything 50 or bigger gets my attention, and that's the color. It'll catch my eye. See, there was 113 in one trade sold. It could be longs just getting out of the way. Don't know for sure if those are new shorts being established. I'm still very cognizant of a run up because RTY is not coming off. Not very strong. If this turned around, I would get short. But if we have people coming out of these indices and rotating into essentially a higher risk RTY, then it is risk on mentality here, not risk off. We've turned blue again and we're heading back toward this UV. I'm going to stack some orders down here again. This is my most recent range. The NQ likes to overshoot. So I'll put my orders, whether it's a take profit or to get in, at the edges of ranges and just beyond. Okay, so I'm going to put a little stop in here just to protect it because RTY is pushing up. If ES can get up here, I'll add to this long if I'm not taken out. If I'm taken out, I'm going to get back in. I'm going to drag my stop up. Yep, and just take profit there. I'm going to just sit here and see if it'll pull back and pick up one of those orders I set lower. It's bouncing a lot, but it's very two-directional. So that's telling me it's indecisive. And I haven't gone to the minis yet because there's no clear direction here. There's no sense in risking any more than this. I'm up about $100. I'm happy with that. We haven't come back down here. ES is trying to turn. See, now these LRCs are coming more parallel with each other. So we are establishing an agreement on price here, comfortable in this 270-ish range. And now it looks like we're going up, so I'm going to join that party. I will add to it. Yes, it's still not quite turned around. I don't trust this not to get slapped down, so I'm going to protect that. And if we get above here, I'll move my stop up. Okay, I still haven't taken out that UV, but it looks like we're gonna. I'm gonna add to this because now we're at the top of this range here. I'm gonna get a little bolder. See, and I can't even get in. That's okay. That means I have the right idea. Now I'm in for 6. I'm gonna protect it. Oops. Stop in here. And So I have but one. It's okay. It's always best to stay small. If it gets rocking and rolling, I might just start adding 3 contracts. If we turn positive and it's in the first half hour, that says something about the strength of these buyers. And I see much more blue here. See what happens when we. I think we're going to break out here. And I'm just taking profit when it pushes up. See, now we've turned blue, and now we've cleaned up that UV. So I'm going to be very careful about this long, but I'm in with 2, and I think I'm just going to sit here and watch what happens. We're not exactly blasting up. It's having trouble. Now I'm down to just 1 contract. And I'm thinking I'm going to take profits here. Yeah, let me protect that. And that's what I thought we were going to go. All right, so I'm going to pause for a moment because, yep, I think we might be heading back down. Just watching him because that's a gigantic move. And I can take any one of these and pull it out to get a better sense of the scale of this move. We've had these ginormous moves down yesterday during regular trading hours, meandered and drifted around last night, but have come back with a force. But what I'll do is I'll stick a couple lines in here just so I know where yesterday's high regular trading hours was. There. And probably the overnight as well. Those are recent highs in the RTY that I just want to see. This one was one that got broke, so I'm going to take him away. I don't trade the RTY, but she's kind of a canary in the coal mine. So those could be targets for RTY to hit. And if they do, or if they are approaching, just be mindful of it. This is our cumulative delta, which we had a lot of volume and then it came off. So buyers might be done here. That doesn't mean we're going to turn around. But remember, we came up here and briefly turned positive, and now we're back to the midpoint. YM and NQ are pretty much in agreement. But ES is really trying to push up. Our LRCs are almost parallel here. Well, now the NQ is trying to go back down immediately, but we've leveled off in the 80 period quite a bit. So really tricky to say. These orange lines are unfinished business, so we do have quite a bit of UB above us if we wanted to go back up. That was the most recent high, 43.05 and 3/4. We've come off of that by 25 points, which in the ES really isn't that big. And now we're just in the middle of the range. We didn't expand the range by very much to the upside, but we are at the upper end of the range. So for now, 362 micros, which is about 150, $160. It's a far cry. It's a far cry from the 3,000 or the 2,000 I need to make in this account. We've settled down. I'm tempted to trade the NQ a little bit, but you really have to have a directional bias to trade the NQ. And my sense is down now, except for that RTY is just not turning. We've got $150 to play with here as far as our padding, quote unquote, but it's an eval, so you got to be real careful. See all of these, how much it skips price levels? These empty spots, that was zero traded. But you can see where the volume nodes, there's a higher volume right here. And if you get above it or below it, it tends to move very quickly. So you can get in front of the NQ when you see a node that has formed, like down here, and catch the bounce if you're lucky. Yeah, I don't want to go long very aggressively here, because I'm just skeptical. All right, so she's going to hit me, and I'm probably going to add another one down here, but pretty much as soon as it hits here, I'm going to put a target in and see if, okay, so wait, my target isn't hit right away, and it kind of tells you I'm on the wrong side. I like to get 2 or 3 contracts in, because then I can take 1 or 2 off and I'm far enough away. Now I can see my recent range. She came down here and turned, so I'm going to get in front of it again. If she'll come back to revisit it, she might blow through. So if I'm hit here and I can put a target in and it blows through and comes up and gets my target, then I've got all this room to get my stop in if she's going to run to the upside a little bit. You've got to be patient and let NQ come to you. You cannot worry about never chase the NQ, ever, ever, ever. She will run you over. Don't really have a bulge yet, but we are getting thicker through here. It's a lot of blue. I'm going to get a little bold here. See, I'm not able to get out of that. Oh, okay. I'm going to come back down here and pick her up again. Maybe. Okay. You can't look at price levels in the NQ and swing trade it. I mean, if you're going to swing trade, in my opinion, if you're going to swing trade the NQ, you need to go to options, and which I do. I'm going to be aggressive here. And I'm going to let it go down and maybe hit my next one. Because we've pushed down several times now and keep bouncing. So now I want to put a target up here. And if I'm lucky, I'm right about this, and we go back up. If I'm not, I'm going to hit flat. I'm feeling like she's not moving quite aggressively enough, so I'm going to take my profits if I can, because I got a lot of selling going on here. I'm always watching the ES for where it's wanting to go. All right, I'm out. It's just not behaving for me. So see how quick that was? I'm lost now. I'm going to clear this. I'm going to take a breath. And then I'm going to go at it again. There we go. Yeah, I don't like this. When she slows down, it makes me nervous. All right, so now I'm up again. All right, new period. And we're at the top of this. Price rejector. That means we have a finished auction, but is it going to hold or will it break? It looks like it's going to break. It broke. Price rejector broke. I think we're going up. Let's see. Let's get down here at the bottom of its range. And we got a new price rejector. And we've come back 4 ticks. That's what the red box means. We got some dark purple. That's selling. Okay. NQ. Beating me up this morning. Come on. I'm going to get deep in the weeds here. Let's see if I can keep from killing myself. So now we got a price rejector that has held. Ooh, good. That was close. My hands get a little sweaty. I don't like being underwater. Don't like the red. So I didn't really make much traction using the minis. So I think I'm going to go back over here. And I still don't think, I mean, we might push lower, but it just doesn't act like it's going to fall out of bed. So I think I would like to build a position long. And in the micros, I can do this really pretty comfortably up to about 20 contracts. They haven't even gone in yet. All right, let's just buy the bid. And I'm not going to take profits until I probably get 5 contracts on, because RTY is still pushing up. And YM seems to have made a turn. So was that just our little pullback from the highs? Did we just do a 1, 2? looks like a crappy wave 2. We're going up. I only got one contract. Now I'm going to take that profit and I'm going to start building along from here. There's no sense in giving it back. We've pushed above the previous candle high. Left UB inside on either edge of this candle and on the ledge of the RTH. Relatively clean bottom. It's not a price rejector, and it's in a place that's kind of no man's land, so we'll see. All right, so we have 3 contracts on. Still have UB up here. Remember, I wanted to have 5. And then once we get 5, I'm going to be really ballsy here, and I'm going to start adding contracts by the 2s, unless we get in profit, and then I can just start taking profits. So I'm going to still be at the edge of the ranges because she likes to do that. Let me leave that because I want to see where we went before. That was our high, so maybe start taking a couple off up here if we're lucky. But ES tells me it wants to at least come up here and clean that up. Maybe now, maybe later, but it'll happen eventually. Where am I wrong? Well, obviously I'm wrong if we blow through this and start heading back down here. It wouldn't surprise me if we come down and clean that UB up a little bit. All right, so now we've got 7 on. I'm going to put 2 more right here, 2 more down here. Let's see, we're at the bottom of our LRC range, so we're up to 10 already. So I'm going to take 5 off right there if I can and protect all of those right there, just because we did push pretty low. And if it knocks me out, then I'll clear the mechanism and start all over. But now I'm in 5 long. That's a long way from where we were before. So I'm going to take that target off because I think we're going to get knocked out here. We're not ready to make that move up just yet. And so we'll start all over. So you couldn't do this in NQ because it would kill you. So I'm just going to drag this up. I don't feel like our momentum has gone. We're not just heading up, continuing to make higher highs here. So otherwise I would just pick off profit above. I think this is going to turn hard at some point. Fake us out. Okay, so let's clear this. Now we haven't finished this and we're close, so I'm going to go back to, miss me, now you gotta kiss me. Okay, now we cleared the UB. Now what? Okay. Very good. That was pretty aggressive. We skipped some levels here. Okay. Now we have a bit of a poor high, although that was from overnight. It's very rare to break both the overnight low and high, like less than 12% of the time. So, and it's not even 10:30 yet. So we're just establishing a new high for RTH. And that ledge is going to blow. There's no doubt about that. We're too close not to. There it goes. And we left UV. So I'm going to go long. And oops. I'm going to put a stop in though because we could turn on a dime. We're still leaving UV. I'm going to add to it. Didn't make it. It's alright. We still left the UV up there. I'm going to probably take profit up here. Cancel all. It's clear. Getting kind of tired now, so I'm gonna probably. Wow, I'm really starting to push. Maybe we're gonna go for the UV up here. 85, 88. It looks like we're gonna run over that for sure. Let's see, I've got an area of interest around 86. And that is, all right, well, I'm going to join the party here if I can. Tried 3 times to get in long. I'll let that break. We're so close to the overnight high. Let's see if that'll break. Once that does, I'm going to put a protective stop in here. Oops. It's a little too close. We were right there. You'd think we were going to go a little higher. Yeah. Right at the overnight high. Now watch it come off. No, we got some UV. All right, well, I'm going to put a target up here. And I'm going to change this to this. Okay. I'm okay with that. And I might even add to it here in a second, but we're at the top of our LRC range, so it's probably going to pull back a little. And all these 0 prints, I might just add down here. They're kind of extending. And we might just leave that juicy UV up there for the IB break. Oh, looks like I accidentally left a trade on over here. Take that one off. Okay. Maybe even be a little heavier down here. Maybe I'll lighten up just above. They really have a inadequate idea of direction here. I think eventually we're going to come back up and clean that up, probably sooner rather than later. So I'm not really afraid of adding to my long here. But I don't want to sit in it for very long. Anytime you have to sit in a trade for very long at NQ, that should make you nervous. Okay. Let's see, how far are we away? I'm going to take 2 off from here and probably add 2 down here. Then either once this breaks or once I'm clear of all this, I'm going to take a break. All right. So put a little protective stop there. Make sure I don't have any other orders way down here. Got that order way up here, but I'm going to take it away because if it just wants to run up there, and it's not gonna, it's gonna. Okay, so let's see. 24 ticks over here in the NQ Mini, 540, so about 250 and $12-ish, something like that. No, it's $5, so it's $5 to $100 in the NQ. I don't know, let's go see. It's hard for me to. Let's see. These are ES. Let's do. I just want 39. Oops, not 38. 39. Just trades. Let's go to the bottom. And I don't know why it says it's negative because we know it's not. Oh, from 6-1. That's weird. We want it just for today, which is the 6th. There we go. So we're at 420. And just for giggles, we want to know how much we were max open flat to flat. So at any given time, any of our trades let's see, there was one that was 380. These were the M and Q, yeah. So in these trades, there were a couple times when I got, but you know what? 3 contracts and I was only upside down 380, and it ended up profitable anyway. I only had 2 overall losing trades where I just got out, which actually they were probably, when you're scaling like this, you're going to have some like that. But the bottom line is my cumulative profit is 120 in the mini and 270. Yeah, so that would be 374. I don't know how it ends up being 420, but that does not include commissions. So we're probably looking at more like $300 total. Anyway, that is how I trade the NQ when I do, which I don't very often because it makes me tired.